One and all, welcome to the only acceptable mirror in 2025. Knights Templar. Why? Because of the unique, diverse choices they make upon their path towards Imperial Age. And we've got two highly capable and talented players to show them off. Two that rank in the top 200, top 100 in fact, quite frequently. We've got Gully, Deck on the yellow, going up against Starflock in the blue. So Germany versus Peru, I believe. That even rhymed. We are going to be on Gorge, so it's going to be some sanity check of familiarity here amongst the craziness. I have yet to see a Knights Templar mirror. It's conceptually very interesting because compared to, say, French mirrors, English mirrors, all these other things, you're more likely to see deviation play simply because you already statistically have more choices to make it an age up than any other Civ does. Most have 2 landmarks. This Civ has basically 3. So we're going to speed up the other game because obviously we don't really care too much about the gathering gold. People wouldn't have actually macro adjusted this perfectly. Interesting map, Gorge, though. Gorge, we've noticed that Knights Templar look really good on maps where the sacred sites are spread very wide. On this particular map, they're not insanely wide. So this pivot where you deviate left or right may be actually more counterable. It is going to be quite comical watching both players lean into those sacred sites. Maybe just the awkwardness of pilgrims walking upon each other towards them as well. Now, most players have been going French for Age 2. I wonder if we're going to see that here. It might end up being a French mirror. The deviation likely to come in Castle. It's like Gully's going to be cleaner. Oh, it's going to be Knights Hospitalier. A man after my own heart. Love this choice. It's a very situational one. I think it's hard to justify compared to French. Starflock strikes me as more of a French. Strikes me as more of a French. He's queued up behind it, hasn't he? Okay, wait, what? Wait, double Knights Hospitalier? That's crazy, man. I never would have expected that. Okay, that's kind of cool. So wait, are we just going to get a giant healing mosh pit in the center of the map? Maybe not. Gully has gone onto the stone. There is another element to Knights Hospitalier that's quite nice, actually. Arguably, Knights Hospitalier is one of the best choices to go fast 2TC. Because your villagers are really, really tanky. It adds 15 health on. That, by the way, does scale textiles to basically give you gilded villagers level of HP. And it looks like it's getting mirrored. Okay, so both players are going 2TC. We'll keep on the 2x for now. Probably you're looking for a slight deer shove up against the tree line. That would be perfect here for Starflock. Other side, Gully, his is a bit more exposed and open. Maybe you go ultra wide. Like, drop a TC here, secures wood, gold, and the deer. Unfortunately, the boar is spawning on the other side of the map for him. He didn't get as good of a spawn as Starflock did for the wider. And yeah, there we go. It's going to be on that deer. Sergeants are broken? If you ask most players, they don't feel that way. I think Sergeants requires relentless scaling and also can easily miss their timing and their target. So yeah, I don't think they're, crazy broken at all. They're very conceptually interesting. And they might seem broken because, remember, they are throwing axemen that do melee damage at ranged. But what's happening there is, you're confusing broken for different. Because it's something you don't understand, oh, it's broken. That's not how things really work. It's broken in your brain because you can't conceptualize the counter yet. Well, looks like we do have the pilgrims on the way. Wait, did Starflock split on that idea? Yeah, he didn't actually go for a rush into safe passage. He's lacking on the food. So we already have a deviation here, folks. Means actually Starflock's going to want to play blocker, but I don't like this. He opens spears. The reason this is rough is your opponent's already going Hospitalier. So cool thing about Hospitalier, guys, is not only can they heal each other in the fights, they can technically make sure your pilgrims never die. And by the way, you are seeing that correctly. Knights Hospitalier does increase the health of pilgrims. And in textiles, I believe textiles also does work for them. I'll have to double check though, because I think it's meant to be only villagers. But even just the Hospitalier detail on its own is kind of like getting a mini piety type level effect. And stuff like, he realizes this wall is ambitious. I'm glad, I'm not even sure why he was trying it. Walling that far across the map is so difficult ever since Season 9 start. Alright guys, what do you think? Ones of you like Starflock's approach more, or twos of you prefer Gully's? I've got a feeling there's going to be an overwhelming majority of twos here, just because everyone loves Knights Hospital. They are really cool. I will say they're incredibly hard to micro though, because sometimes you just want to heal. Sometimes you really don't actually want to attack over healing. But getting that priority is like really awkward if you play on a big zoom out. Like it's actually one of the pristine examples of units that are much better when you have like ultra force zoom. He's going full hospitality. I love this. This is the build that I was dreaming about. I thought it'd be like ridiculous. The problem usually is like it takes so long to build into that technically your opponent should just be able to bypass you into the next stage. Like Starflark, remember, it's not going to take him long. It'll take him 45 seconds to age up. And he could easily go for the Genoesians here, which would get him Genoese crossbows. I think probably you're just okay with normal crossbows. That works just as well. I don't know. Like what Gully's got in mind, he basically needs to look for a convergence point onto the 2TC play. Arguably, this play theoretically shouldn't work if Starflark just fast castled on 1TC. But the 2TC muddies it. Because like now you have a lot more breathing room to just build these. Wait, why are we not healing the Pilgrim? It doesn't matter. He's in. And that right there, guys, extra health. The extra health was the difference maker. I like how it comically heals after it's already secure. Safe passage did just get unlocked. We do have Starflark actually rushing the tier 2 pit. And the villager does get scouted again. Dude, this is way too ambitious of walls from Starflark. Luckily, the Knight's Hospitalier tech might actually save a life here. Wait. Is there going to be a recharge? A little recharge? Give him a little nudge. Give him a little nudge. Give him a little nudge. Oh. No recharge. Oh my god, this is going to be more dented than Ottoman versus Mongol mass spear in H1. Alright, so this is a micro battle, guys. This is a true micro battle of force. Ooh, oh. He just about gets away. Because this is the thing, you can try and stagger retreat where you heal the other one as he runs and you stand your ground for a moment. Golly, he needs blacksmith though, if he wants to make this work. He set up stables behind this? Maybe expecting an archer transition, because Hospitalier are actually weak against range. They only have one ranged armor. Wait, is Gully just, like, could he just turn this into a fast castle? Because the stats get quite padded on Hospitalier when they age up. Okay, so, like, here's a crazy thought. Starflark, seeing what his opponent's doing, probably going to be going Genoa. Gully could then counterplay him by going into Castile, which is super valuable in this matchup because it plays very well with the healing, because your heal on the Sacred Site's going to get a 30% buff. And then on top of that, your opponent wants to get safe passages. You can block him and benefit from the fights. Like, it's a double whammy. And in the fact that you also get access to the ranged counter with basically the Genoas are going to lose against the Genitors. Like, this could be sick. And yeah, it is confirmation. Genoa's on the way. So once he hears the tech up, he's going to want to check on the primary TC. You want to scout near it so you can see the flag. Meantime, he's going to body this fight north side. Oh, I think the Pilgrim didn't actually get in there. Really unfortunate for him. Right now, Gully does definitely still have the numbers, though. But really not that far behind in this castle timing. This would be a perfect time for him to look for a clash. Problem is, his army was rotating the other way around. He's actually more paranoid about the Pilgrims. And we've always seen this in the past and how it's not a good idea when you see your opponent make an aggro play, reacting to that play versus making your own. Making your own is easier when you're so far away. More beneficial as well. Wait, what? He goes Angevin. Wait, but like... What? So I think part of the problem here for Gully is he's making this choice uninformed. Does he think that Starflark would go for Castile? Because, guys, Angevin doesn't really give you much in terms of impact here. Like, the fortresses and dock health is cool later on the game, but not right now. What is the thought process? Because if he suspects Genoa, then heavy spearmen are going to get counted. This is a great fight, by the way. Even though they're vetted up, they're completely outnumbered. I'm going to chase him away. I can't believe I'm actually enjoying Emira so much. It's just interesting because of the way they're trying to learn the civs with this. Man, I don't know, though. I find it hard to back Gully here. He has numbers for sure. But these spearmen, it's like he expected Starflark to go into the Templar brother himself. But he gets the bad news. Genoese crossbows arrive. Pilgrims aren't going to make it in, but man, the snipes are going to come in big. Remember, these guys hit like a truck, 30 damage per shot. And these are yet to be upgraded. They are not veteran. Plastic shields. Okay, so Starflock going to be able to start starving him out. We already have him playing into the monastery as well. So relics are on the agenda, but not for Gully. Looks like he's going to get his better skirts. The hooded figures arrive. Crossbows do need some protection. Starflock, an overextension here. Oi, oi, oi. I don't think you can stand against this. Also, the Genoese crossbows are slow. They can get chased down, especially if you just kill a few horsemen. Just trying to do the best, snipe out as many as he can. It's not a bad trade if you can get like 2 Hospitalier kills per Genoese crossbow dying. Oh, that's it. He uses the cliffside to minimize the surround. Crossbow numbers are scaling, but this is the problem. I think Starflock's realizing it now. He tried to run before he could walk. And these guys only walk. Have terrible movement speed. So you can't just rush ahead. And now the Templar, brother. Now, this unit does not really give a damn about Genoese crossbows. And that was a sick detail. Gully realizes that actually, like, he's going to get kited on the Hospitalier. It's the Templar brothers that can get the kills. So if you just chain heal them up, they'll look to actually convert. Look at that heal. Speaking of conversion, Starflock. Gully, no. No. We do also have normal men-at-arms getting added in. A little bit surprised by that. I think it was just early on Gully done that. Once again, like, your play now is to get away from infantry. In fact, if Gully just plays into Templar Brother, Starflock's fully counted, which is why he's now fixing to normal crossbows. Yeah, Genoese crossbows feel really awkward to actually leverage. Also, Starflock hasn't been healing them. They've both kind of been neglecting their units from the heal. A lot of heavily injured. There you go. He's going to start target healing. Aiming fairly late, though. He's already losing extra units on the side. I think the reason why I like the Hospitalier so much, conceptually, even though I'm not a big fan of Feudal healing, like I've talked about this like a broken record, I think like Feudal healing is a bit too strong. The thing that I like conceptually is it offers up a lot of micro skill expression in battles. A lot. And the healing's impactful, guys, because each Hospitalier will heal for 5 even in combat. Because remember, default value is 7, then 3.5 when in combat, but 30% buffer means you're doing it for 10, and then also... Starflock. I don't think he has enough front line. He's losing the melee mosh pit here. It's also, he's not even focused on actually protecting the crossbows. This is sunken cost logic. He's like, oh, Genoese crossbows cost a lot more. The problem is, they're not countering the knights. The crossbows do. This just feels like one of those, in the moment you're having a good pie and you wake up with a hangover afterwards moments. The Genoese crossbows should not feel more valuable than normal crossbows here. Because the normal crossbows don't do 21 damage, a Genoese crossbowman is going to do 21 damage. But the difference in cost, right there, 180 versus 120. Now, if it was men-at-arms, sure, you could argue the Genoese crossbows are good enough. But when it's knights, normal crossbows are king. Especially when you consider that it's not just the damage interval, it's also the extra attack. Basically, it takes an extra 0.5 seconds for Genoese crossbows to reload. The idea is like, you will not get go. We still have these attempted walls, by the way. Starflock, this is the point where it's more feasible. We're up to almost 8 economy. I love that. Honestly, this is kind of refreshing to see, and it might just be because of new Civ, and then the meta will be like devolved to people doing the same thing. But whatever it is, we have 2 very differing builds. It started off similar to the Hospitalier, but it's changed so much with the arrival of Castle. Look at this. We've got Horsemen, we've got Templar Brothers, heavy spears coming through, men-at-arms. Other side, it's just all ranged. We literally have melee blob versus ranged blob. Oh no! I'll never get tired of that. Oh no, Gully. Oof, this is way too much cavalry for this women to hold. And that's starting to leak through that this is always the challenge with Genoese crossbows. I always see them as an ultra defensive unit. They aren't great when you have to aggro. Let's get out for a dive right now. Gully just has so many horsemen. Oh my god. Starfart, the idea is right. The timing was not. Horsemen able to dive in. Big damage being done here. And a lead now being extended. This is going to ripple effect. Because he's going to be able to start raiding into the economy. More ponies also on the way. Just going to be a wipe with the bulk of the main force. Final spearmen are standing their ground. Crossbows have pretty much been obliterated from the field. And now Gully leaning even more into hospitality. And on top of that, fortress block. Yes, no pilgrimages anymore for Starflark. I think this is snowballed now into a clear victory condition for Gully. He's just going to roar mass. And I think he can afford to do so. He's got wood supplementing some food. He's still got deer over here, the board to the south side. And on top of that, remember, he's 2 TC with 18 farms already. This is not going to stop. Yeah, sick timing. So some chip damage being done. That's now going to be a 10 eco lead. And, you know, we talk about, like, mirrors where small differences make the mile. Here's some big differences for you. Not just the comp, look at the economy. So much extra surplus gold, and Starflark now has nothing to do with it because all of his ideas were a crossbow. That's where he was meant to spend gold. You don't want to build crossbows against mass horsemen. Funnily enough, this is a situation where Starflark kind of wishes he actually had the heavy spearman option. Wow. And yeah, now the fortress coming in just to let him know how royally screwed he is. All right, this is an organized mugging from both sides. Additional fortresses. I don't know. I think Starflark's probably just going to throw the towel in. He has a keep drop coming. That's going to give him the potential for auras to play around. Really big deal, actually. Like, I kind of think and feel for Starflark that his comp suffered because he tried to run before he could walk, like we talked about. He tried to fight too soon. But also, part of that soonness was a lack of fortresses. Of the two armies, the one that actually benefits most from the fort drops is Starflark's, because of the 15% increased range. That's going to allow Genoese crossbows to have longbow range. That's going to allow crossbows to basically almost get an extra Tala range. Also, because you got the relics, like 3 relics here, pretty good actually to go into the treasure towers. We do have a third TC, so Starflark trying to play catch up. Sacred Site timers are ticking though, and I wouldn't be surprised if Gully goes for the third keep drop shortly. Would need to get some additional stone. Has actually got enough at home. And because Starflark does lean and continue to lean so heavily into range, decapping might become difficult here. Starflark desperately wants that decap, but this may prove to be an ill-advised fight. Even the spearman numbers not quite high enough yet. More army is going to be on the way. Okay, so he might die for the decap here. Man, this whole game kind of feels like it's been Starflark playing with too much urgency. Horseman now with the backstab. And maybe it's because of the way Gully played that forced him into that, because the sacred sites are so key. But that's why Gully's comp just feels a little bit better. He was positioned well, prepped well for a fight in the center, when what Starflark needed was a slower moving game. There you go, guys. What do you think of this? Knights Templar mirrors? Interesting. Do you want to see more of them? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you all in the next chapter.